Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 2 on the portrait. I left you off in part 1 and we got sort of this far. We'd mapped a bit of the image out and we dropped the eyes in. Let's take a look at the products we're using in today's video. So they're the products. We've got the same paint scheme, all the other bits are the same. We're all set up ready to go. First thing we're going to do is test the brush, guys. Always test your brush before you commit to your piece of artwork. There's nothing worse than not testing it. You crank your air pressure up and you go wallop and then you splatter a load of paint over what you've already done. So always a test piece to the side, makes it nice and easy, and you can get your airflow and your paint mixes correct over here. And then just move in and commit. So I'll move the camera in closer and we'll get part 2 complete today on this portrait. We're going to get the hair, the lips, more face tones in and get that bit done. So let's crack on. All right guys, we're just going to, the brush is clean. I always clean it before the next sort of session. Now I'm going in with a cool grey. So FW Inks Cool Grey mix with the ISO. I'm going to go about 5 drops of that. Then I'm going to drop a drop of black in it. 2 drops of black. I'm going to drop a little bit more ISO in this because my mix is quite thick on the cool grey. Back bubble. Pull it through. Let's have a look, see how it's spraying. Get that a good mix up. Just set the brush up. I have to go a little bit, I'm going to go a drop of water. That's got it. Right, that'll do. Right, we're going to start off with just dropping some bits on this hair. Now my hair textures will look different, but I've always said, don't worry about mirror matching everything, you know. You really ain't. That's when you start beating yourself up and start stressing. I'm just going to put some tones in here. Shield where I need to just hold a shield. Like that. Just to cover bits up. So you're not getting any overspray on the bits you don't want to get on. This is round near the fingernail. So just holding it to cover that up and work off the shield. I'm just going to build it up with this tone and then go in with darker ones. And do my own sort of hair textures. As I say, as long as you follow the shapes, you'll be good to go. You're not going to worry too much. And where it sort of goes dark and light, as long as you get them sort of bits like it, no stressing. Get a little bit over here. Just using the shield just to block off certain areas. That's all you gotta do. Got like a dark grey band coming up here. On here. I'm just putting a fogged in line there because we can sharpen that up because we're going darker either side of that line. This little piece here, we've got a little bit of colour in there. A little bit in that. Some more tones in this piece down here. Yeah, I've got a little bit down here. Just drop these in. So I'm just doing dagger strokes like that, on and off, sort of a consistent sort of line like that. And then the more you sort of go over it, the darker it'll get. As you can see, the more you go over that same line, it will just get darker. So you're sort of just going over yourself, but just creating layers with it. A few little bits down here, just come round here. Just shield the finger off and drop a bit of paint in. Like that. Right, that'll do for that pass. I think. That's sort of built it up a bit. Alright, we're going to clean that tone out. I'm going to go straight black now. Well, in fact, I'm just going to add some more black to the tail end of this mix. And just darken it up. Right, we can just go in. And start adding a tone of black in there, it's like a very dark grey now. Let's put a few strands of this in. Shield again. Just got to keep building it up. Using the shield where you need to, just to sharpen some bits off. In there. This is going to go darker here. A little bit of paint in there. And just keep building it up. So just chipping away. I've done a little bit more black around here. Just sort of darkening areas off. Darkening bits out. So my hair will look totally different. All the shapes are there, as I keep saying. I never stress about doing hair. Just make it your own. We'll do some Posca touches in this as well, just to put some highlights in. And then we'll just tint over the top. We'll do that in a minute. Some more darks down here. Not like a... like a line there. That'll do. Put an outline on this pice. So he's got an outline on the image. And a little bit of fading, shading around there. Right, let's have a look at this. What we got here? Let's go with the Posca and just start to put some brights in, and what we'll do is we'll tone this back. We'll build the layers up this way. Do loads of passes with the Posca. Like that. Tint over the top. This paint needs thinning. You can work hair in so many different ways. Clean this brush out, I'm going to go for another colour. Just gone in with a Posca paint pen because we can't do like the real fine where you'd be scratched back in and getting the real fine stuff. Just drop the Posca in and go in that way. Yes, I've got a darker hair pass, but doesn't matter. As I say, work the hair to where you want it. Don't stress. See, if I was to try and do this now, you wouldn't get, well, it's taking a bit back. It just pulls the paper. You can get some fairly light ones. They are going in, but you will just pull the paper because it's not meant for this. I can get a couple in. You can hear it dragging. If this was gessoed, you'd just be going straight into the gesso. Not a problem. Just literally grabs the paper and wants to dig into it. We'll do some little Posca ones in there just to sharpen it up. Why not? we're getting there. Once we do the real dark pass in it, it'll separate it off, it'll be alright. I'm going to go with that. I'm just going to drop some of this tone in here and just tone this back, because these are all in shadow around here. Few bits in there in a minute. Not looking too bad. I'll pass that on the eyebrows, send them back a bit. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. It's an okay tone. It's not mirror matched with all the highlights like you see on the original, but as I say, when you're working real dark strands and trying to get them highlights in, you can go in with the Posca like we have done. Drop it in with a Posca or an artist brush with some straight white, and then just tint over the top, go in with your greys again and your darks and just drop over the top. Now you can go in as well, I'll show you another way of going in with it. You can go in with a white pencil, a watercolour, and you can really get some highlights in with that. Not a problem. As I say, always use all the tools in your box. You can do it this way, and you can do it with a black pencil. You can go in next with a black pencil and drop it in. Go in like this. See, that's just popping them out now. Hold that shield up. Just come away from that shield. You can drop it in like that, and then you can go back in just sort of drop some real sharp dark lines in, some real dagger strokes. And you can build it up that way. And just keep going over and over, and you can really get some good air textures in just by building it up with pens, pencils, to give it that little bit more realistic type touch to it. Like that. So you can just keep working this, you can get it more and more and more sort of realistic as you just keep working it up. I mean, this actual hair texture on the picture isn't realistic, so you've not really got to worry too much. So that is another way of doing it. If you're stressing that you can't get it all in with the airbrush, as I say, it's not got to be done all with the airbrush. So just building it up that way. Right guys, I've just continued working it, nipping in with a bit of black, bit of grey, bit of Posca paint pen, bit of white pencil, and just build it up till you've got like the desired look that you want. So it's similar looking. We've got some of the highlights in, got the darks in here. What we're going to do now is we're going to start working these lips in. So I've got the red FW, which is that like pink type colour, because it's very, very thinned out. And I'm just going to go in and start working these lips in. Nice and light. I'm not too worried about giving these a very, very sharp edge. I'm just sort of dusting it in. Just creating some little dark sort of passes from the bottom. Like that. There's some like little lines coming up. A few little textures. Just sort of building it up. Just a bit more paint. And the pigeons are out again. I swear I'm going to go out there one day, there's going to be a pigeon with an airbrush in his hand, chirping at me like, following along on step by step. So just putting some lines in, some little crease lines in. I'm just going to put a little bit of that over the teeth. Just building the colour up. A few little lines in there again, like that. Now we'll drop the wicked purple mix in. I'm just going to go over and tint over the top with this. On that. Bit of FW black. Get the shield. Start to line this bit out now. I've got some more hair coming across this bit. Line this in. A little bit around the bottom. I can just tone this in now here. Like that. Little tone of that under there. That's not bad on the lips. And then when you get the old Posca, drop them highlights where they need to be. Like that. We'll just brighten up the teeth a bit. Like that. Right guys, we've got the mouth in. Now the finishing pieces on this bit of the tutorial. We're going to do this earring here. So it's basically, when you zoom in on this bit of image, it's sort of little squiggles and tiny little lines. Same as in the ear. Part of the earring's like black in the centre. Just going to do this freehand. To get the look of it. And then the rest of it round is this. It's like black, which will make the other parts of it pop out, and then we can just tone that bit back. Follow it around with the shield, frame it, and then you can fill the centre in. Like that, and then you're just filling that edge in. Like that. You can just roll a bit of that black over that edge and just tone that back a bit. There's just some weird shapes in here. The rest of it you'll just pop out with the Posca. got a few hair strands in, darken that out. Then we'll just get the Posca and we'll just do some highlights on these bits. It's got a little bit dark around there. Just build it up. You need to go a little bit darker so the Posca shows up. Just tint over it. Back in with the Posca. You can nearly get the same effect then, just by darkening off. You need a dark to make the white pop. Like that, that'll do. You've got your dark round here so you can make that pop. Like that. You can always come back in and tweak these little bits. We'll finish off with this little bit here where the skull is. Just tone this back in here. Drop that. Bit under there in. There's a couple of stray sort of hairs coming down around there. We'll very lightly put a line under here. Like that, just darken that out a bit there. And that's that bit done. So we've got that piece in. The next part of the video, the last part's going to be sort of this section here. We have got a few more little bits to tweak here. We've got a little bit on this ear just to darken out. Around here. That sort of comes around a bit. A little bit darker on there. There. That's that bit. A little bit more on this hairline here. So you can just keep finding bits and just sort of tweaking them. We'll have more hair strands coming around here in the next video. We've got a little bit more hair coming around on this piece. Work this piece in. We'll just finish this dark off here. Just flick that up a little bit there. We've also got this little bit here. Just where the skull edge is. There. No. Finger just comes round. Yeah, we'll go with that. So that'll do for today's video, guys. I hope you sort of picked up a little bit along the way. We started out with the hair and we just sort of built the layers up, went from the light grey. And because we can't do erasing and scratch packs on this paper, you've got to sort of adapt and build your layers up with what you've got. And that's why I say just use all your tools in the box. So we used a white Posca paint pen. We've used a white water-based pencil to get some hair textures in. And it's come out all right. It's given it that nice sort of texture coming across. As I say, this image isn't like a full-on photorealistic piece. It's sort of a tattoo piece of artwork that you'd have on a sleeve or on the side of your leg. So it's completely different. It's got a little bit of realism in it, but it's not full-on fine. But I've put more sort of fine little whispery hairs coming out just to give it that little bit of more realistic look on certain pieces. So we worked the hair in, done the darks here, worked that in. We worked the lips in. Started off with the FW red, which is like a, when you thin it out, it's like a very light sort of pink to it. Drop that in. Then we went in with the wicked purple, just tinted over the top. Then dropped a little bit of black into that, and then just went round and just sort of framed the lips a bit and just toned them down. Dropped the little patterns into the side, a little bit more hair texture here. And then we moved over to this side to drop the bit of jewellery in. Sort of put the darks around it, dusted over with the darks, and then just used the Posca paint pen for them real sharp highlights, just to sort of pop them out and give it the look of what's on the reference. Done the same part to the earring here, finished off with a little bit of shading in on the ear, and that sort of completed that top piece off. I'm going to take that as far as I'm going to go on that. We can come in later on the finishing, when we finish on part 3 and finish this piece off. If we need to put any more tones in or put any more highlights just to pop them back out, we can do. You can just go back in. If you wanted the whites to come out more on certain places, you can just go in and brighten them pieces up, because they will sink back into this paper. So you can just flick them back out and just put some highlights back in. It's not a problem to make it pop that little bit more. You can just keep working it because it's absorbent. The paint just absorbs and just starts to darken off and dull back. Just keep going over the top, just build them up and build them up to get them to where you want. So, hope you've enjoyed it. Drop your comments, tell me your thoughts. If you are new to the channel and you're liking this style of content, give me a bit of feedback and then I can start making some more step-by-steps for you guys. If you want more basic ones, let me know. If you're total newbies and these are a little bit too advanced for you, just drop your comments on things that you like, that you're interested on painting, but just sort of don't know which way to go about it. Drop it in the comments and I'll come up with a step-by-step for the total beginners on something a little bit simpler, and we'll crack on with that. I don't mind doing that at all because it's all brush time at the end of the day. It's working your trigger. It's good for me as well because you're permanently on the trigger and you're just permanently keeping up to date with it. If you stop and have months and months out trying to get back into it, it's just a chore and it just takes a little bit more time. But if you're on the brush, the more brush time you can get in, the better, because it's practice, guys, and that's what it's about. All these little step-by-steps, it's just practice for you to get you better on the trigger. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in part 3. Cheers, guys.